Today we'll be going over what caused the Inquisition and how did this counter-reformation affect Europe. Spain launched the Spanish Inquisition, which was used to identify heretics and bring them to justice. The supporters of the Inquisition felt threatened and negative toward the Protestant Reformation because they were on opposing sides. The church would send someone to kill and torture people who didn't support the Pope or the Catholic Church. If someone was a suspected heresy, the Inquisition made sure people were loyal to Catholicism by taking drastic measures on the people, such as torturing them with the knee splitter and even impalement. In document 1 and 2, it showed that the Pope started to realize people of all genders began to take part in religious tolerance and therefore caused more people to stop believing in Catholic faith. The Pope believed that the Protestant Reformation should be gone and the heretics were to be punished. The Catholic Church was so determined to make sure people stayed loyal because they believed that when people had started to stray from Catholic faith, they were giving themselves over to the devil, and in order to save the people, they wanted to make sure that the people stayed loyal to the Catholic Church. In document 2, they resorted to torturing methods against heretics during Inquisition because they thought by taking action and forcing the people back to religion, the people would listen and give up eventually. By using fear as a motivation factor, they pushed the people back to the Catholic Church and had them stay out there in fear of torture. Between document 1 and 2, since the people of Europe had started to become part of the Protestant Reformation, many people strayed from the Catholic Church and their belief. The Pope issued the Inquisition so that the heretics were to be tortured and drive people back to Catholic faith. One of the examples was called the water cure, and they would force the heretics to swallow 30 pints of water, and by drinking that much water in a short period of time, it will lead to a condition called water intoxication, and it caused a drop in sodium levels in the blood and caused the brain to swell up. Another was called waterboarding, and they would cover the victim's face with cloth and tie them onto an inclined board and pour water over the cloth. This made the heretic feel as though they were drowning. In one letter, Jonas Junius was tried for being a witch and forced to invent something out of his head, so these crimes were evidenced to be true. He was tried because people back then did not trust in science and put trust on the church. His denial of his charges caused the prison to torture him more until he couldn't bear the torture. He eventually confessed so that the torture would stop. However, when he confessed, it only caused him to be burned and labeled as a witch. His faith would still end up as faith if he didn't confess because the Inquisitors would most likely torture him to death. The Inquisition affected Europe by creating a state of constant fear amongst the people. The people were helpless and feared the Catholic Church, while the Church were allowed to put accusations on people based on their own suspicions.